Hello everybody and welcome back to N-SightMSG,
The Amiibo Tourney.
and Fanfiction reading. I wanted to go ahead and say again, if you didn't see the first part of the stream, you can go back and check that. I've already cataloged that. If you're watching this on YouTube, after it's already been transferred, don't worry, you're all caught up. You haven't missed much. There is one thing that you do need to know, though, is that this has happened in the past, and if you haven't seen the first part already, you need to do so now, because you won't. It won't make sense later on. I'm going to be reading off the fanfiction that I've written on fanfiction.net. As I'm doing the Amiibo Tourney. The Amiibo Tourney is just something visual that you guys can take a look at, and it's fun to take a look at. But all that being said, there is the nature of the story. It is rated T. I should have explained that at the very beginning. It's rated T for, like, I try to keep it as PG-13 as I can, but sometimes things will backfire on me. Alright, so I'm gonna continue where I think I left off. So if you guys haven't seen the first part, you should go ahead and do so. I will be keeping tabs on the live stream as well as my time on the stream itself. That way, I don't go too long on the live stream and it cuts me off. Anyway, continuing on. Frederick. Crom turned to him. So how about it? Will you join us, Pitt? Pitt made a short, quick bow. It would be my pleasure. Frederick turned back to Crom. Did you notice, my lord? The leader spoke with a Plesian accent. Pitt tilted his head off to one side. Plesian? What's that? Crom turned back to Pitt. Plegia is Elise's westerly neighbor. They send small bands into our territory, hoping to instigate a war. Lisa clutched her staff tightly. And it's the poor townsfolk who suffer, totally innocent and totally helpless. Frederick nodded. He took off his right gauntlet and readjusted it as he gave his reply. They do have us, milady. Shepherds to protect the sheep. Do not be swept up in your anger, for it will cloud your judgment. Lisa shook her head. I know. Don't worry, I'll get used to all of this. Just then, a villager ran up to them. He had a slight smile on his face. Lord, please, he panted out. You must stay the night. We are simple folk of simple means, but we would gladly toast your valor with a feast. Frederick turned and shook his head. A most generous offer, sir. And no doubt your hospitality would be grand. But I'm afraid we must hurry back to Ulistal. He glanced at Pitt and said, the capital. Lisa went on as if she didn't hear Frederick. Dark meat only for me, please. Medium well, and no salt in the soup. She stopped. Wait, what? We're not staying? She turned to Frederick with a sad look on her face. But Frederick, it's nearly dark. When night falls, we'll camp, eat off the land, make our bed of twigs and the like. Frederick just shrugged. I believe you mentioned you would be getting used to this. Lisa's face turned to horror as she realized the knight had made up his mind. Frederick, sometimes I hate you. Pitt took one look at the knight and chuckled a little. Wait, the stern lieutenant there. Crom nodded. Frederick only smiles when he's about to bring down the axe. Gotcha, Pitt noted. Frederick cleared his throat. You do realize I am still present. Crom chuckled. Oh, we realize. Lisa giggled in agreement. Frederick frowned. My lord remains as amusing as ever. Now then, shall we be going? Crom rolled his eyes. Alright. Ready to go, Pitt? The capital isn't far. Pitt nodded. The four heroes now headed out of town waving goodbye to the villagers they had saved. It was one of many encounters that would plague their journeys. Now, there's an author's note at the end of this chapter, and I'd like to point this out because it'll explain everything. There was a person who brought this to my attention. I used an HTML, which what happens is it messes with the text on the screen, and it turned out that it printed the code as the text instead of the actual text for the first chapter. Here's the thing. There was a format problem on it, and I went ahead and fixed it so that it's visible, but the note at the bottom is just saying, "Hey, I'm sorry for the inconvenience. If it comes up again, please email me at MetalmanBlades and give me the subject line." This is back when I called why did I do that? This is back when I called it MetalmanBlades. So Bowser won that one. Moving on. Quick scores. Hammerslap Bowser's moving on. So it looks like I've got this guy, and I've got this guy.
Donkey Kong.
And if you're wondering why I called my Donkey Kong Barrel Bug my Bowser Slammer Bro, it's based on what kind of amiibo they are. They are, in fact, the Skylanders crossed with amiibo. I used them both in Skylanders and on the amiibo thing. My Bowser does have a different color and a different name, and that's the actual Bowser amiibo. I never got an official Donkey Kong amiibo, and I refused to get Diddy Kong amiibo. So the Donkey Kong amiibo is the one that I'll be able to use now when it comes to the Mario software. So we're just going to continue on without that getting in the way. That set aside, and let's go. So yeah, I started putting this up when I called it MetalmanBlades, and I actually didn't get the idea for continuing the fanfiction later on, past a certain point. Alright, continuing. So Kid Icarus Grounded Awakening, Chapter 1. The Risen. After walking through the woods for some time, night fell upon the group. The four travelers stopped and decided to camp where they were. Lisa was upset by the surroundings. "I told you, it's getting dark already. Ugh, and the bugs are out. Noisy, disgusting bugs that crawl over and bite you and... Ah!" She went forward a bit. Lisa proceeded to hack and cough as hard as she could. Crom chuckled. "Aw, come on now, Lisa. Hardship builds character. Want me to help gather firewood?" Lisa was disgusted at her previous encounter. "I think I swallowed it. I'll pass on finding firewood, thanks. I think I've built quite enough character for one day." Pitt turned his mind towards other things. "We should probably think about food. I don't know about you, but I'm starving." Frederick nodded. "Yes, I should think a little hunting and gathering is in order. Now, who wants to clear a campsite?" As it turned out, Crom was on food patrol. Frederick cleared the campsite and lit the fire. Pitt gathered firewood. Lisa, like the lady she was, refused to do more than needed from her. Crom had managed to kill a bear and roasted it over the campfire. He had missed the taste of bear meat as it was his favorite animal meat. It's been too long since I last had bear meat. Delicious. He then noticed Lisa had not even touched her portion. "What's wrong, Lisa? Dig in." Lisa scowled. "Pass. Gods, couldn't you spare us an animal normal people eat for once? I mean, come on, who eats bear? You're meddling with a food chain. Right, Pitt?" She turned to face the angel. Pitt? Pitt had started on his second helping already and was halfway through it. He stopped midway to his next bite and shrugged his shoulders. "What?" Lisa sighed. I suppose a person would enjoy just about anything after not eating for days. Pitt shook his head. Angels like me can go weeks without food. My appetite has just caught up with me today. Rob nodded back at his sister. Just eat it, Lisa. He held up a half-gnawed muscle. Meat is meat. Lisa shook her head. Since when does meat smell like old boots? Wait, I take that back. Boots smell better. Frederick gave a silent chuckle. Every experience makes us stronger, milady, even those that we don't enjoy. Pitt noticed the knight's uneaten portion as he was finishing his own. Aren't you gonna eat that? Lisa placed her hands on her hips. Yeah, why aren't you eating, Frederick? Frederick handed his meat over to Pitt. Me? Oh, well, I'm not hungry. I had a large lunch. Yes, quite. Lisa frowned. No, there we are. Lisa frowned at her armored comrade. Yeah, right, Frederick. Regardless, Pitt dug into the third portion and polished it off as Crom had finished. The rest of the bear was made into jerky for Crom and Pitt if they got hungry later. All went to sleep one by one, resting as the quiet night allowed them to. Suddenly, Pitt was jolted awake. He heard a voice, a familiar voice that had been treacherous before her support helped him defeat Hades. He listened intently, hoping to hear her childlike voice again. Pitt? Hey, Pitt, he called. What are you doing? You should be on patrol now. Your new friends will be attacked soon. And Shulk won! Okay. Not bad. Shulk won, turbocharged Donkey Kong goes back to the shed. Oh, I forgot to put these in the box. Okay, sorry, I'm trying to organize myself as I'm trying to keep myself as organized as possible while doing a tourney. Not very helpful, not very easy. I thought it'd be easier than that. I thought it'd be way easier than that. Sure goes to show you what I know. So the next one is Mega Man and Toon Link. So Mega Man's right here, Toon Link's right beside him. Mega Man is called Blast Man for a reason. And I will explain why. First, his side special is the Crash Bomber. The second is that he has bombs. The third is that I couldn't figure out a better name for him than Blast Man. Moving on. And while that's going on, I'm gonna eat a little bit right here. I think I should really try some of these. They're Starburst gummies. I found them at Walmart in the candy aisle. They're delicious. Oh my goodness. And they're so small. They're like, okay, I'm taking them. They're just a little bit fatter than my thumbnail, and that's saying something because some people have huge freakish thumbnails that are like the size of bottle cap. Actually, it's a little smaller than a bottle cap, like one that you'd find on a regular twist off soda bottle. Wow, Blast Man's already. Okay, I trained the Blast Man Amiibo using the same build, all the same specials. That I don't know if it's the Crash Bomb or the ice. Yeah, it's the ice. Okay, my apologies. Blast Man is a little bit different. Freeze Blast. That's why it's Blast Man as well as the bombs. Sorry, I've got ADD pretty bad, so this is more comedy than anything. So these are these little Starburst gummies found at Walmart. They're like a lot, like $2. Pretty good. Anyway, continuing on. Where am I? Okay. So Pitt was jolted away. You should be on your patrol now. Your new friends will be attacked soon. Pitt recognized it as Verity's voice. He knew that if she told him something like that, it was bound to be true. Pitt stood up and adjusted his gauntlets again. Just then, Lisa yawned.
What's wrong, Pitt?
Pitt knelt in front of the sleeping lady. Sorry, I didn't mean to wake you, but something's about to happen. Lisa stood and stretched out a little. Define something, Pitt explained. I'm not sure what exactly, and I think I'll have a look around. Lisa picked up her staff. Not alone you won't. I'm coming too. Pitt shrugged. Why not? Just stay close to me. Lisa nodded. Of course. Pitt and Lisa walked away from the campfire and then looked around the immediate area. They stopped after a good 20 minutes of patrolling around. Oh boy, I scrolled too far. There we go. Lisa took in the sights of the forest. It sure is dark. Then she noticed something. And quiet. Where did the birds go? Pitt crossed his arms. Something is definitely wrong here. Suddenly, the ground shook violently. Lisa cried out as she fell on one knee. What's happening? Pitt readied himself in combat position, extending a hand to support Lisa. What is this madness? Lisa, stay close! Just as he said this, trees started falling towards them from a far-off area. The sound grew closer and closer until Pitt could see the trees tumbling. Lisa, run! He pushed Lisa off towards the camp and shouted again, Go! Pitt and Lisa ran at a brisk pace. As they ran, the ground behind Pitt shifted and raised to create a cliff with lava flowing from its side. Fire spread out, but began to slow its burning as Pitt and Lisa stopped in a small clearing. Lisa pointed at the sky behind Pitt. Pitt, what is that? That just happened to be a round blue eye. It was a portal. From it appeared two figures that landed on the ground in front of them. Both were dark-skinned, red-eyed, undead humans armed with axes. Pitt drew his bow. Lisa, you better stay back. Lisa nodded and stepped back against a nearby boulder. Pitt watched as the first undead human ran towards him, axe held high. Pitt flipped over it and slapped... Okay. I'm gonna have to pause this while I... Really? With a slow start, it still made it? Was it... Okay, good. Hey, there we go. Alright, so it looks like the next set of Amiibo... Let me tap Mega Man as the winner. The next set of Amiibo are Wario and Captain Falcon. Oh boy. Wario! I better be praying that Captain Falcon wins. Captain Falcon! And I'm gonna be praying for Captain Falcon to win. It's just kind of my thing. I don't want Wario to win. I'm gonna let you guys watch that, and I'm gonna continue this. 3, 2, 1, where am I? Go! Pitt watched as the first undead human ran towards him, axe held high. Pitt flipped over it and slashed down its back with the blade of his bow. That blow was not enough to finish off the undead. It swung its axe around and Pitt blocked it with his bow. Pitt threw off the axe, kicked the undead to the ground, and jumped onto it, sinking his blades into its back. It dissolved in a purple smoke, disappearing quickly. At that moment, Pitt heard a scream. He realized that there were two. Pitt swiveled his body around towards the noise. Lisa! Lisa was being approached by the other undead warrior. She had no defense. Pitt ran towards her, realizing he may be too late. The warrior raised his axe high in the air. What Pitt saw next happened all in one second. First, a mysterious figure dressed in blue landed in front of Lisa, which shut her eyes. Secondly, the axe fell down and hit the blue-clad warrior's sword. Third, the blue-clad warrior cried out, Help! Help! Pitt ran forward at full sprint. He yelled out, causing the undead warrior to drop his axe in surprise. In one motion, Pitt's blades and the blue-clad warrior's sword slashed through the torso of the undead fighter. It disappeared in another cloud of smoke. The blue-clad warrior sheathed his sword. Pitt and Lisa both stared at him. What an entrance, Pitt remarked. What's your name? Pitt never got his answer. The blue-clad warrior fled through the trees. Pitt and Lisa began pursuit, but instead ran to Crom and Frederick at the edge of a clearing. Crom called out to them. Pitt, Lisa, are you hurt? Lisa ran towards them. Frederick, Crom! Pitt turned to Crom as well. Are such horrific creatures commonplace in these lands? They're not from Elise. Crom shook his head. I promise you that. Frederick turned the attention back to Lisa. No one is injured then. Thank the gods. Lisa nodded. Thank the masked man who saved me. If it wasn't for him, I'd be... Then she remembered. Hey, where did he go? Frederick faced the field where more of the undead zombies were gathering. We can worry about him later, after we put these things to the blade. Eyes open now. We know nothing about this enemy. Crom agreed as Sully rode up. Pause. This is why the Lucina amiibo is named Sully. Because I love Sully. Oh my gosh, I thought I'd never see that kind of move pulled off outside of YouTube videos. I can't believe my amiibo pulled off the ultimate Captain Falcon punch. I think I've nerfed Captain Falcon a little with his up special being a slower attack. Regardless, I think he's a little more powerful though. It's kind of neck and neck now. Yeah, it's kind of nerfed when it comes to the up special. I kind of want Captain Falcon to win. Come on, come on, come on. I really want Captain Falcon to win now. Or he's just a fatting guy on a motorbike. Come on, you can beat him. You're beating faster opponents and faster vehicles. Crap. I'll give it a fart, man, but I'm not happy about it. Crap. Alright. I'm gonna go ahead and get these out of the way real quick before I continue the story. Sorry, I paused it right at one of the good parts. But I have kind of a thing for Sully. Not like romantic, but I kind of like her character. The strong, independent woman who can do more fighting than any of the guys on the field. Trust me, she does more fighting than most of the guys on the field. And she quite possibly is the toughest character I've seen in any Fire Emblem game. Regardless, I need to continue putting these to good use. Good use. Good use. Anyway, continuing on, these four to the box. I've got a little cardboard shoebox that I keep all my amiibos in. It's gotten a little out of hand how many I have, so I kind of have to put them all together in this section. Alright, so we're going to start the maddening matches. This is round 2 of everything. Zero-Suit Samus and Nora are at it again. Alright, and I have little ticks to tell what everything is. So, like, the regular Bowser amiibo is Bowser, and the Hammer Slam Bowser amiibo is the Hammer Slam Bowser. But because every single Mii fighter is different, and we're different on the inside, and it's the same on the outside of the amiibo, like, the programming is different, but the outside is still the same fighter. it's hard to tell them apart, so I put the Amiibo's character names, just so I could, like, distinguish where they are. And I've also lined them up in a way that's easier for me to figure it out. Crom agreed as Sully rode up. Sully was another one of Crom's forces. She was dressed in red cavalier's attire and rode a brown horse similar to Frederick's. Her red hair had been cut short to avoid being a weak point, and she had a look of complete courage. She called out to Crom as she rode up. "Captain Crom, wait, I'm coming!" I knew I shouldn't have left him. "Alright, you ash-faced freaks. Which one of y'all wants to try my lance on for size first? I know just the spot for it. Shove it right up here." At that moment, another person stepped out from the forest. The figure was dressed in ruffles all around, like he was Shakespeare. Other than being armed with a bow and a quiver of arrows, he seemed unfit for battle. "Hold, my lady," he called out. The cavalier turned and appeared to talk him down before an axe hurtled through the air towards them. The cavalier spun her lance and knocked it away. They both focused on the battle from then on out. Pitt ran towards an undead soldier and spun his blades in an arc. The second blade connected and sliced the enemy in half, causing it to crumble apart. The undead warriors were throwing axes left and right, as Pitt raced up and slashed at their chests. Just as Pitt tore through the 10th soldier, he noticed Crom and Sully were attacking a warrior who looked like an Indian chief. Pitt yelled out at them as he steadied an arrow. Sully slung her arm out as she passed Crom. He took it and mounted as Pitt loosed the arrow, which flew into the chest of the chief. It exploded in a cloud of purple smoke. Frederick rode up to Pitt with Lisa on his horse. As Crom and Sully trotted up, the archer ran up to him. The blue fighter was standing right behind him as Frederick assessed the situation. "It seems all the creatures are vanished. This young man took care of the others." By the way, the blue fighter means Marth. The masked man nodded and sheathed his sword again. He said nothing for a moment, but Lisa spoke up. I never got to thank you for before, so thank you. You were very brave." Crom added his thoughts on the fighter. "You saved my sister's life. My name's Crom. May I ask yours?" The warrior calmly gave his answer. "You may call me Marth." Crom seemed surprised. "Marth? After the heroic king of old? You certainly fight like a hero. Where did you learn your way with the sword?" Marth shook his head, not wanting to engage in conversation. "I'm not here to talk about me." He turned his attention to Pitt. "This world teeters at the brink of a horrible calamity. What you saw tonight was but a prelude." My goodness, my tongue is not doing pretty well today. "What you saw tonight was but a prelude. You have been warned." Marth left without saying another word, hurrying off into the forest. Lisa's response was the same as Crom's. "Huh? What's teetering, weird? What? Hey, wait!" Her call for further answers was never answered that evening. "Not much for conversation, is he?" Pitt replied. Frederick shook his head as if shrugging off a worried thought. "It appears his skills lie elsewhere. I wager we'll hear his name again. But for now I'm more concerned about the capital. We should make haste." The party of 6 now made their way to Alistal, hurrying as fast as they could go. The band of shepherds, as they were called, arrived in Alistal as the morning sun rose. The gates had been opened for them, and the marketplace was busier than a beehive during the springtime. Pitt gazed upon the peaceful city. "So this is Alistal, capital of the Lys. I've never seen so many people gathering in times of peace." Frederick looked relieved. "It appears the capital was spared the chaos we encountered. Thank the gods. I see no evidence of the Great Quake." Ooh, Nora won. Okay, we're gonna pause that. Nora won. Moving on. Zero Suit Samus is going into the box. Man, Nora is climbing up the charts. Alright, next one is Ness and Marth. That's kind of an unfair setup in my opinion. There we go. So here's this one. I'm starting to clear off the table as I'm weeding out the characters that are falling in battle. It's starting to look more organized and complete and everything, and awesome. Didn't want Roy or Ryu in the same fight. Are they? Okay, good. No. Ryu's fighting 4th here, and Roy's fighting. Okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. Get back here. Okay, there we go. So moving back to the story. It must have been limited to the forest. Lisa sighed. Well, that's a relief. Nearby, an elderly villager called out. Look, the Exalt has come to see us. Sorry, let me finish my bite. I took a bite of pepperoni, and I don't think I should have done that. Hang on. There we go. Just goes to show you don't need to be eating while you're trying to read. Especially if you're reading out loud. Or mainly if you're reading out loud. Pitt looked ahead and saw a procession of guards and a royal figure. The royal appeared to be a female, dressed in a circular headdress of pure gold. She was robed in white and green, and had a mark on her forehead that matched the one on Crom's arm, though Pitt just now noticed this. The Exalt is your ruler, yes? Pitt inquired. Frederick nodded and replied, yes, her name is Lady Emerin. Pitt seemed a little nervous. Is it safe for her to walk among commoners like this? It wasn't safe for Veridi or a normal human royal from where I'm most known. Frederick laughed off the statement. The Exalt is a symbol of peace. A symbol of peace? A symbol of peace. Lisa's most prized quality. Long ago, at the dawn of our age, the Fell Dragon tried to destroy the world. But the first Exalt... But the first Exalt joined forces with the Divine Dragon and laid the beast low. My apologies, I keep belching. Excuse me. Exalt Emerin reminds us all of the peace we fought for then. Crom had it on as he turned toward Pitt. With Pelagia poking at our borders, the people need her. She's a calming presence, when some might otherwise call for war. Pitt chuckled a little. And the Elysian people are indeed lucky to have her. She's also the best sister anyone could ask for, Lisa added. Yes, I imagine Pitt began. He stopped himself as he thought about what Lisa just said. Wait, what? She's your... But wouldn't that make you and Crom... Frederick nodded. The prince and princess of this realm, yes. You remember Crom's name and not this? Frederick took a step back. You said you were shepherds! Crom nodded. And so we are, in a manner of speaking. We just have a lot of sheep. Pitt fell to one knee. Crom! I mean, Prince Crom, sire, forgive my dreadful manners. Crom chuckled at the angel. Just Crom is fine. I've never been one for formalities. Pitt rose. The prince and princess. Princess. Well, she is kind of prissy. Sorry. The prince and princess of... I can't say that. I cannot say that. The prince and princess of this realm. Yes? You remember Crom's name? Oh, sorry. The prince and princess. That explains why Frederick tolerates all the teasing. Frederick sighed. Oh, indeed. Oh, the sacrifices I make for the good of the realm. The procession let up... Goodness, I'm getting tongue-tied. I really need a head. Whoa, perfect time. If you're wondering why I named him Jacob, don't ask. Because it will not be given to you. Yeah, no, I'm not giving you the answer to that question. So continuing on, it looks like Ness won his battle. I'm gonna mark that on here. Ness wins. And now we've got Ruby and Lucina. Oh boy, here we go. So we're doing the long-range fighter, the swordswoman. This is technically going to be her versus Blake again. Who was the last victor? I'm trying to find it. Oh, Nora. Duh. I put Nora right back where she was. Okay, good. Blake's out. That's over there. Okay. I'm trying to organize my Amiibo on a table that has no organization skills. Or no organization line system, whatever you want to call it. Nothing. So there's that, there's this, there's that. All done. I'm gonna take a bite. I'm almost at the end of this chapter, so don't worry about missing much. We're gonna finish this chapter before the end of the live stream. That being said, the rest of the tourney will be previewed or will be on tomorrow. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, this is going to be out 1 week from today. The third part of the live stream will be out 1 week from today. And the final chapter will be released April 28th. For those of you on YouTube, it's already out now. You can actually go and look in the link in the description down below on YouTube. For everyone else who's on the live stream, you can go to fanfiction.net, or you can go to YouTube, N-SightMSG, and I'll leave a link in the description of the live stream capture videos for this session, for this tourney. I'm gonna go as far as I can. I'm hoping that I can just get a couple of people reading these fanfictions, because they're all great, not just mine, but others. I recommended my friend to the site, and he absolutely loves the ones that he was watching, the ones that he was following. Come on, Ruby. Come on, Ruby. Come on, Ruby. Ruby, 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 Ruby. Uh-oh. That didn't look too good. Okay, in case you hadn't noticed, the standard special is the... yeah, that. That was perfect timing. The upward special, I think, is the arm cannon. Nope. It's the armor cannon, the one that does the downward spike on it. She has the reflector shield for her down special, and her side special, I believe... I don't remember what her side special is. Oh, it's the Invisimissile. I forgot about that. Moving on. The procession turned around and made its way back to a palace at the end of the street. Looks like Em is returning to the palace, Crom noticed. Would you like to meet her? Pitt nodded, and the party then followed the procession down the street to the palace. Emerin stood in the throne room of the castle, gazing out at the 4 shepherds who had recently arrived. She wore her pale green and tan robe with a legacy lace that depicted the previous exiles before her. Over her head was a halo of sorts, formed as a sign of royalty. In her hand, she held a scepter with a crescent moon and an ocean sapphire suspended in the center. She greeted her audience with a pleasant smile on her face. Crom, Lisa, welcome home. Oh, and good day, Frederick. How was your patrol? Crom nodded in reply. Well, we shouldn't have any bandit problems for a while. Our people are as safe as they can be, Em, but we still need to watch the borders. The brigands crossed over from Plegia again. Phyla, the captain of the Pegasus Knights, was standing in the corner of the room. Forgive me, my lord. My Pegasus Knights should have intercepted them. Crom turned to face her. Oh, Phyla, your duty was here with the Exalts. Lisa giggled a little. And besides, we had plenty of help. Emerin looked at Pitt. Ah, you speak of your new companion here? Crom turned to his sister. This is Pitt. He fought bravely with us against the brigands. He says that he is here to help us in the future. Emran made a slight bow. It sounds as though Elise owes you a debt of gratitude, Pitt. Pitt shook his head. Not at all, my lady. I do as Lady Palatena has told me. Frederick cleared his throat loudly. Forgive me, your grace, but I must speak. Pitt claims to have lost his memory about his arrival, but it is only that, a claim. We cannot rule out that possibly he is a... Sorry, I did not pay attention to the screen. That he is a brigand himself or even a Plegian spy. Crom scowled at the wary knight. Emran looked to Crom for his word. Crom gave his distinct answer in the implied question. He risked his life for our people. That's good enough for me. Besides, he's more powerful than I am. And he may be able to use our shepherds better, help our shepherds better than, become better protectors. I don't know why I messed up on that one. Emran nodded in approval. Well then, Pitt, it seems you have Crom's faith, and as such, you have mine. Ruby won! Yay! I love Ruby. As a character. Strictly platonic love. She's kind of cute and adorable at the same time. But wow, 2 Fire Emblem characters knocked out of the running. Who's next? Who's next? So we've got Ryu and Ike. Ooh boy, the 2 tough guys. Here's Ike, and here's Ryu. Let's go ahead and add them to the board. And yes, the name on Ryu is trademarked. I have already trademarked that name. Do not try to trademark it anywhere else. It's part of my story. You got it here first. Your spar. You'll see it later when I put the screenplay as public. So while they're fighting, I'm gonna finish the chapter. 3, 2, 1. Pitt bowed. Thank you. Emran turned her kind gaze to Frederick. But thank you, Frederick, for your prudence, as always. Crom and Lisa are blessed to have so tireless a guardian. I hope they remember to mention that from time to time. Frederick nodded slightly. They occasionally express something akin to gratitude, your grace. He redirected his sight to Phyla. Phyla, I assume you heard about the deathly creatures we encountered, yes? Phyla nodded. Yes, sir. They've been sighted all across Elise. Emran looked towards Crom. Crom, we are about to hold council. I was hoping you could join us. Crom nodded. Absolutely. Lisa sighed. I think that's our cue, Pitt. Come on. There's a place I want to show you. Lisa led Pitt out of the castle and into the courtyard. They walked out towards a small stone near the stables. As Pitt and Lisa walked, Pitt felt a familiar presence grow stronger with each step. The closer he got, the stronger the aura. The source was undoubtedly within the building Lisa was leading him into. Alright. So, here's the note at the end of this. I did not know how many different people would release deviations of the crossover, and I'll try and keep it as interesting as possible. Well, I've kept it interesting enough for people to rant and rave. Please make another. Please make another chapter. Another chapter. Another chapter. Wow, Crom's doing pretty well on there. That being said, there will be spoilers for both games from here on out. I will not spoil the side quests of Awakening or the whole storyline for Uprising, but the main story of Awakening and certain spoilers from Uprising will be given within this crossover. Expect the following to make an appearance: Hades, Dark Pit, Viridi, Pandora, and the Underworld Army. They'll make appearances throughout the story. The action will begin next chapter. And remember, this is still when I was a novice at writing these kind of things. So I'm actually gonna leave it there, and we're gonna. Oh boy, that looked painful. It looks like Chrom is actually holding his own against Ryu. I couldn't take out that Ryu amiibo a little while ago. I thought he was just like uber strong or something. Jeez, he can't land a hit. Come on, Chrom, deal a blow. Well, that's a blow. It wasn't the blow I was talking about, but yeah, that works. There we go. There we go. Come on, come on, come on. I want Chrom to win this so bad. I've been beaten by this amiibo too many times. It took out my Cloud, it took out my Bayonetta, it took out my my Corrin. It took out my Sonic, which is my tertiary main from the original cast. It took out my main Bowser from the original cast. And then it took out my Mega Man and my Pac-Man and ooh jeez. It took out everybody. And I'm talking about me going against it, not Amiibo. Because it hasn't fought any Amiibo other than the Mii fighters. Oh, sorry. My fault. Crap. I was hoping I could continue on in the match, but nope. He gets the crutch. Ryu won. Ah, boy. Okay. If you're wondering, no, M is not based off of Amarin. It would be stupid. It's in fact based off of something else. I'm gonna end the live stream in a little bit here. Well, I already got him. I'm trying to save all the Amiibo data. I really like battling with the Amiibo data as the winning whatever. You can go back on the table because you won. You've won. Go back on the table. Alright. There we are. And I believe that's going to be it for now. I would do a couple more, but I'm scared that I'm going to run out of time and the stream is going to cut out on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep the whole bracket open on the website that I have open. And I'll save this here into the computer so that I don't have to go in and change it later. I've got hang on, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 matches left in the Maddening Matches round. And that's going to be a total of 8 fighters for every 4 matches. That's going to be a total of 24 fighters. I'll do as many as I can. I'll do as many as I can tomorrow. But I promise you guys it won't be before a certain time tomorrow. There is a constraint on what I can do. I'm gonna do some yard work for my grandparents, and I can't be streaming at the point that I would like to. However, there is one thing I'd like to do. What do I get the opportunity? Can I pause this? Nope. Yeah, okay. What I can do is I can continue this at another time. I'm gonna go ahead and separate this. Minimize that. There we go. Alright, so everybody, that was the Smash Brothers tournament. For the most part. I still have the rest of the Maddening matches, the Midway the Midpoint Massacre, the quarterfinals, semifinals, and finals to complete. Unfortunately, guys, I will not be continuing the rest of the story. At least I don't think I will. I'll jump back in tomorrow with the rest of the tournament.